everybody, DM Jim here, and welcome to the Tabletop Engineer. This week I'm going to continue work on my Enchanter's Keep. Now the idea here is I have this Enchanter in my campaign who sells magic items or will create magic items, and he has his own citadel of sorts. It consists of 7 pieces of terrain that are going to sort of work together to create his workshop. Each one of those pieces has a different function. Like one of them is going to be a library, another one is going to be the casting area or the practice area where he can test out the weapons or invite customers in to use the magic items before they purchase. If you look at this episode right here, this is last week's episode where I created the core terrain. I created it out of chipboard, and it consists of 7 pieces of octagonal shaped terrain, and each one is a ½ inch shorter than the other. The tallest one I think is 4 inches. And so they sort of form this step pattern as they go down, with the central area in the center. That's the casting practice area. So this week what I'm going to do is I'm taking 3 of those pieces and I'm sort of building them out with the foam top terrain, the wood structure, and I'm also doing some painting. Now here's the thing, the painting I'm doing is mainly on the miniatures that will go on the diorama. And I don't want to sit there and make you watch 30 minutes or an hour of me painting these different pieces. Even though I'd edit it down, you wouldn't get much out of it. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to come out to my Facebook page, the Tabletop Engineer Facebook page. On Wednesdays, I typically try to do a Facebook Live video. Sometimes I paint minis, sometimes I share new books or products that I've discovered that are making my life easier as a GM. And what I'm going to do is this coming Wednesday, which is January 30th. So if you're watching this video late, you'll want to go to my Facebook page and hunt down the January 30th Facebook Live video. What I'm going to do on that video, and it's probably going to go in a couple hours or more, I'm going to paint some of the WizKids and Mantic called the Dungeon Crate terrain product they make. I'm going to paint some of that stuff to go with the diorama. So you can watch me paint, and you can also ask questions, and we can have a chat or whatever. And it's been real enjoyable. For the past, I don't know, month or so, I've been doing them, and it's been really fun getting to talk to some of you guys. I have some regulars, but I also have some new people that show up, and it's kind of interesting to just get to chat with you guys and see what's going on with your gaming life. But anyway, back to the video. I'm going to take you to the work table, and I'm going to show you some snippets of video of me prepping 3 pieces of the diorama. The first one is the central area, which is the casting practice area, as I mentioned. The second one is going to be the wizard's study, or his office. And then the third one is going to be the beginnings of the library. So join me Wednesday again to see some of those miniature pieces painted. And then let's go to the work table and I'll show you what I'm doing for the actual terrain to get it ready for those miniatures. I started this project by taking the shortest of the 7 pieces of terrain and tracing it out and cutting it out on a 1/4 inch piece of foam. And then I used a straight edge to just draw various lines to border the piece. And then I drew a hexagon in the center. And then between the center hexagon and the outer edge, I made a bunch of lines for planks. And each of the planks runs parallel to the outer edge that it's facing. And then I just cut little lines and used a pen to widen these lines to make the individual planks. Here you can see me using a wire brush just to give it a wood grain texture, and then I used a skewer to poke nail holes. I covered the entire thing in a coating of black paint, actually 2 coats, and then I glued it down on top of the piece of terrain. Next, I made 2 identical pieces. Again, I traced the foam, cut out the hexagons, but instead of a center hexagon, these are just straight planks that run from one side to the other. I used a ballpoint pen to widen the lines here, but I did not use a skewer to poke nail holes, and I'll explain that shortly. Once again, I just glue this down, and you're not seeing the second one, but I made 2 that are identical. One of them I painted with this paint called Camel. It's sort of a very sand color. And the other one I used a Nutmeg, which is a new paint I received from Folk Art. I used the camel on the edge of this piece, and then on the other piece, I reversed the colors and used nutmeg on its edges, as you'll see in just a second. Both pieces took 2 coats to get the color consistent, and then I went over the edges again with the color the opposite color. Now, instead of nail holes, I used a skewer and dipped it in a bronze paint that you can't really tell here, but it really starts to stand out, and it looks really good. I hit the centerpiece with that nutmeg, and again, it took, I think this one took 3 coats to get it where I was pleased with the darkness of it. And I let it dry and then hit its nail holes with the bronze as well. Okay, so now I have made 3 of these. Here's one. The color's a little off because of the lighting, but I'll get some high detailed photos of these and put them at the end of the video. This is going to work as this is the library base, okay? And it goes hand in hand with this one, which is my favorite. This is going to be the wizard's study or office, and the colors are they're matched, but they alternate, as you can see. This dark brown right here, I have to tell you, it is called, hold on, where did it go? It is from Folk Art, right here. This is one of the new paints that Plaid sent out to me and some of the other YouTube crafters. We've been able to, you've seen some reviews maybe at Jeremy and Wylock, who have reviewed like the moss paint, or it's a two of these bottles. You work them together to create moss. But this has got to be one of my favorites so far. I'm not usually a brown guy. I mean, I like to paint wood on my miniatures and things like that. But this one is called Nutmeg. And specifically below it, it says antiquing medium for an instant aged look. That piqued my interest, so I tried it out, and I gotta tell you, if you want a brown that looks like dark wood, I don't know, the different types of woods and their colors and stuff like that, but this is just an incredible dark brown that looks real. I mean, it looks like wood in person. And it's got this, now it's got black underneath it, as you saw, so it's darker. I used it on one that did not have a black undercoat, and it's not as dark, but that's what I was going for. I wanted to use this color again, but see it in a lighter version. But this has got to be my favorite one so far. Just that brown is incredible, and like I said, this is going to be where the wizard's office is. And then the last one, which is drying right now, is this one right here, which is going to be the targeting practice area, sort of the central area. And I went with the lighter wood here, and then I used the, the nutmeg on the outer edges, but it's a lighter color. And I did that on purpose because I wanted this to not match the other two, if that makes sense. So as soon as this paint dries, I'm going to add the nail holes, and then I'll go shoot a bunch of photos for you so you can see it in action. Now, I am also going to be using these, which I have not got to paint yet. These are from Mantic. This is the library, okay? It's called Terrain Crate. And this one is Wizard's Study. Now, I bought these with my own money. These did not come from Mantic. I bought them because they looked perfect for what I want to use. The thing is, it's a lot of pieces. So I didn't want to paint these and do a bunch of time-lapse of you watching me paint the chair and the stack of books and stuff like that. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you will tune in this Wednesday, January 30th, 2019, if you're watching this video later, you'll have to search back to the Facebook page, but go to the Tabletop Engineer Facebook page on Wednesday, January 30th, and I'm gonna paint some of this stuff. I'm not gonna paint all of it, but some of it will probably already be painted. But I'm happy to talk about this current project. I'm happy to talk about these and how I'm gonna paint them up. I'm happy to talk about anything you want to talk about. So that'll be on my Facebook page, The Tabletop Engineer. If you're not a member, you need to join before Wednesday if you want to participate. So anyway, Mantic Terrain Crate Library, Mantic Terrain Crate Wizard Study. I'm going to include the unpainted versions on these in the photos at the end of the video so you can see kind of what it's going to look like. All right, that's all I have for you this week. Next Friday, I hope to get at least 2 more of the platforms done, maybe the remaining 3, probably the remaining 3. That way all 7 will be done. And then it's going to be a matter of adding embellishments and stuff. Now, I'm not going to rely just on the miniatures from Mantic and WizKids. I'm creating some additional special items that will go on these that will have to be handmade, and I'll include those in a how-to video. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I will see you next Friday for the next how-to video, and for those of you who join me Wednesday, I'll see you then, and we'll get some of this stuff painted up. Take care.